been given access to receive messages of clarity, guidance, and love. As channeler, psychotherapist, and author, Noemi Grace has an intimate dialogue with the divine on your behalf. Lisa Berry, creator of the show Light on Living, will be co-hosting as live callers ask their burning question on self-love, self-healing, deepening relationships, areas of struggle, and next steps. By simply listening in, you're receiving wisdom that will lead to sacred stability from every channeled message that Noemi delivers. Join us now as we give you access to angels and grace. Ooh, sacred stability whilst here with us on Access to Angels and Grace.
I never would have pieced those two words together, but that was...
Oh, well, so many of us feel like we are on shaky ground, but really our stability does come not from our spirituality, but where our trust and faith is. And so everybody, welcome. First of all, hello, good day, afternoon to Noemi Grace, my lovely co-host and channeler messenger.
And good day, good afternoon to you, Lisa. Good morning if you're not on Eastern time,
Yes.
Or in Europe time, but yeah. So
it's the miracle of timelessness. And today we are talking about miracles as we continue our series of miracles of living beyond the wound. And miracles are certainly highlighted to us, as we step into the second series. The first one we really did hang around with the wound, which is lovely. But it's nice to add the miracles with them too.
yes, because the wound itself is not the ending point. We get stuck in the wound and we don't see the way past that. And this is past that, when you can get through the wound and out to the other side, like it's like a tunnel. You get out the other side, and there you are in a place that is so different from when you're living the wound, when you're living beyond the wound, and there are miracles there. There are miracles on a emotional and spiritual level. You might not win that lottery. Somebody won that $1 billion the other day, but you might not win the lottery, but you're going to win yourself, and you're going to win the gift of you being who you are in the world and all the magic that opens up.
When you just said the miracle of who you are, you are the miracle, it was so perfect, because today, what better, when we can't see things. So what do we have to do to see them? We have to look with different eyes. We have to reflect. We have to remember. We have to ask outwardly. We have to do all these things. And what better way than if you have a diary or a journal is to reread them. And so, Noemi, do you literally use the word diary? That sounds like an 80s word almost, or a 40s word.
I don't use the word diary. You used it.
I do. I love it.
I do have a journal, and that's how I channel on the show. I channel, orally, but normally I channel in writing for my books and stuff, and I do that in a journal. But yes, not a diary.
Yes. And there's the good thing. That's what I want to have the listeners kind of share with us right now, is that a diary, like a journal, you might journal your thoughts. I feel like a diary. I'll do this. When I think of a diary, it's you writing to yourself, or you writing to God, or you writing to, you're really revealing and sharing some insights that you're not really thinking, what will I want to read in 10 years from now? You're expressing, and so that's why I thought this was so beautiful, where today's show description kind of was on, I could read it, or would you want me to read it, Noemi? Or
read it. It's beautiful.
Because it kind of makes more sense that way, and then I don't have to give away the fun ending. But yeah, so everybody, if you have a diary or a journal, or you used to, you might want to dig it out after this show today. But let's see what might happen if we were to do that. So here is, Dear Diary, Today, I am willing to see the wound differently, so I can choose to use it as a portal and take me to the land of miracles. Next entry. Dear Diary, many years ago, I hated my life. I thought it unfair for the pain I was suffering. I punished myself by removing all choices to connect with others by blaming them. Next entry. Dear Diary, a few years ago, I gave up on my happiness and fell victim to the reflection I saw as I looked into the glass. I only saw the wound as a reminder of hate and despair. Dear Diary, last year, I started to question who I really was and what the wound could offer me. I started to ask the universe if I had any other choice than to suffer. Dear Diary, last week, I saw that I always had a choice, and the first choice was to see that I was worthy of the power in each choice I made and ever will make. And will ever make. I reversed that. Dear Diary, no! Dear me, today I choose to see the wound in every wound differently. Today I allow my self-love to be the key to lovingly give access through each beautiful wound as a portal and take me to the land of miracles. I love this. The cycle.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a cycle, is it, Noemi?
It's not a cycle. It's an expansion. It's growth. It's recognizing that, okay, you've been living in this land of woundedness, the land of the wound, and that there is a whole other way to live. And this morning, actually, I'll share what my husband said to me. I know you were going to share it, Lisa. But this morning, so my David, hello, he's listening. Hello, he said to me, the results I'm getting in life are a direct reflection of what I'm saying yes to. And I thought, wow, that's really profound. Because we don't think we're saying yes to the wound. We don't think we're saying yes to being stuck. But it's what we're subconsciously saying by the way we're looking at things and the choices we're making. We're making the same choice to be self-protective or believe something about us that is diminishing. And so when we can make those different choices by seeing things differently, by recognizing the gift in the wound, by recognizing the gift in our struggles and looking for it, then we have a whole different experience.
Yes, and when David shared that and I read it, I was, first of all, yes, I like this. Let's just repeat that because that's so good. Listeners, everybody, look at the results that you are getting in your life. That is, because it's what you've said yes to. And I loved in the Dear Diary a few years ago when it says, I gave up on my happiness. I know people who have given up on their happiness and they fell victim to the reflection that they saw as they looked into the glass. And when I heard David's revelation and quote there, I thought, yes, because when we look at the reflection, we rather reflects back and we say, yes, that's the ugliness, the victimness, the woundedness I feel, or they look through it and they choose to see something different. I just love that.
Yes, and it takes that willingness, that there is something different here, that belief, that desire to see something different, to be not in that same place, to be in a different place, a more uplifted place, a place of beauty, a place of empowerment.
Oh, Noemi, oh my gosh, this is coming together. So, so there's a difference in when somebody says, I don't want to be here. I don't want to suffer. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be in pain. Then that's a saying what I don't want. That's a no. That's not saying what David's saying. When we say yes, we want to say yes to having a different life. Yes to making different choices. Yes to standing in my power. Yes to healing. And that's why that yes statement was so powerful is in order to make a different choice, we have to say yes to different things.
Yes, so true. And so that was a really great connection there that you made about, I don't want this, I don't want that. I'm tired of this. I don't want to be struggling with this anymore. I don't. But we're not saying yes to, I step out of this. I don't know where that's leading me to, but I'm stepping into something else. I'm choosing to see myself with eyes of love, to see myself in a different light.
Yeah. yes is actually a choice. So that's so cool. Okay, this is fun. Because no isn't quite a choice. No is a response. Yes is a choice. And we feel the power in that. And what was that beautiful thing that you used to say around the choice point? No, I said choice.
Choice is the point of power. Choice is the point of power. Or not, depending. Yeah. But when we're actively choosing, power is there. It takes power to make that choice, and it opens us to stepping into our power. It is that point of power when we choose actively. So I would say that no is a choice, but it's a default choice. It's a that living by default, as Abraham says, or it's that place of not exercising your power. So it's the same old choice. It's that same old choice that is just by default, subconsciously, autopilot. You're choosing it without choosing it, without even realizing you're choosing.
This is actually so enlightening right now, because we can say no, and I love that you use the word by default. So I'm not quite sure that miracles are going to happen by default, but I'm pretty sure miracles will happen with powerfuls and yeses and loves and stepping through.
Yes, and maybe when our default is miracles and they happen by default, that would be really cool. Like they're just happening. Yeah. Miracles are happening. You're stepped into that abundance and that mindset of miracles and that belief and that possibility and power of miracles, and everywhere you go, miracles happen. I'll hold out for that one.
That's the land. All right. That was absolutely
I can't
the
say
land
I'm
of
living
miracles.
there. I'm not living there yet, but I'll hold out for that one.
So, you got your lottery ticket.
No, I did not. So should I do the pre-channeled message, as you call it, just being aware of time
and then
here?
People can sit with it. Yes, they can sit with a wonderful channel message, and then as we go to commercial right after. That's perfect. Yes, please.
Yes. So I start before our show, a couple days before, reflecting and holding the theme in my heart, and then I start to ask the divine what they have to say about it. Here's what we plan to talk about. Certainly open to something else. And what do you have to say? And what would you like to say? And that becomes the starting point. So here is the divine response to my question. The wounds you carry open you and bring you out of your complacency and autopilot living. Without wounds, you would go along your life in relative unconsciousness, never touching the depths of life. Wounds open you to experience the depth of who you are. They awaken you and share deeper truth with you, much deeper than the stories you tell yourself of how you're a victim of circumstances, people, and even yourselves. Wounds opened you to hear a different message. Beneath the surface messages of woundedness and victimhood lies a deeper truth, the actual truth of who you are, and a deeper power that is connected to Source. You have been living your lives as fractions of who you are. The wound invites you into wholeness, and this wholeness can only be achieved through exercising the power of your choice. You are much more powerful than you can imagine, yet you live as someone with very limited power. Access your power, and the power of choice becomes yours. Access your power, and you will choose differently. You will stop choosing through defense mechanisms, which try to block more wounding, causing you to assert yourself to overcome. You overcome by coming over to your power, by choosing the power that resides within you. And as you do this, by opening to your power, you recognize that you do have power and desire to access it. The wound creates an opening for awakening. Awaken to the dawning of a new day in which you live from your power. This is possible for all of you, and it is to some extent the purpose of your existence. Your existence is not meant to be one of suffering and sorrow. It is meant to be a journey to the wholeness and fullness of who you are. And you must understand that without wounding, you would not seek a different path as strongly. You would exist in complacency and mediocrity until the emptiness of your existence consumed you, and then you would seek a different path. The wound is a shortcut to that new path, which is learning, knowing, and living the truth of who you are and aligning your choices with that truth. You wouldn't seek a different choice if you didn't suffer pain. Your brains are wired to continue your same existence, to continue to survive, yet the wound offers you the opportunity to thrive through the power of your choices. Ask yourself, do I choose from my power? How often do I choose from my power? If the answer is never or rarely, simply embrace that, and then start to write a new story, one in which you embrace and live your power. If you don't know how to do this, start to recognize where you do not choose from your power. When you choose in the same old way, or when you choose from reactiveness or defensiveness. Notice how this shows up in your life. Notice more of what is transpiring in your life semi-automatically, and stop. Then start to access your own truth and wisdom every day. Start by claiming it. I know the truth of who I am, and I live this truth. Remind yourself of this, even if you think you don't know who you are, because deep down inside you do know, and you are aware. You only need to access that place. You create a connection to that place of knowing within you every time you claim that you do know. And then you start to know actually in your experience, and you begin to remember what you have known all along, and this will change your life. The wound is an opportunity to remember, and in that remembering, you can easily realign your life with the power and choose from that power. Namaste.
All right, so I know we'll go to commercial when we come back. I pulled out my biggie golden nuggets on that one.
Okay.
Join us shortly again back on Access to Angels and Grace here with Noemi Grace and Lisa Berry.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Vox Novus, the new voice. Vox Novus, the new dimension. Vox Novus, thought and movement leaders who will share from their experience and offer tools to help us navigate our rapidly changing world. My name is Victor Furman. Join me every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio for Vox Novus, the new voice.
The universe is eager to help you and give you clarity. You only need to be willing to ask your burning question and listen to the answer Source wants you to have. As a channeler of divine messages, I take your questions directly to the divine and hear what Source is longing to tell you. I'm Noemi Grace, and my co-host Lisa Berry and I welcome you to join us as a listener or caller on Access to Angels and Grace, 2 Wednesdays a month. Call in, ask your most burning questions, hear the divine's exact words giving you guidance and clarity. Access to Angels and Grace, where messages of joy await you.
These are the sounds of a dinner that almost didn't happen. A dinner now served, thanks to people like you. Due to COVID-19, 17 million more Americans may face hunger. Feeding America is helping our neighbors in need. And if you're able, you can too. Donations are being accepted at feedingamerica.org/coronavirus. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
right. Welcome back, everyone. Just before the commercial break there, Noemi, you got to read your beautiful pre-channeled message. I do like calling it that. And it feels like it is a message, but it also feels like it holds lessons in there that go a little deeper that help me to kind of then access questions around it. And so what really came to me, there's 5 little points, but what I loved was one of them is because today really this episode is around choices and that power. And I love how this came out. The wound is a shortcut to that path to align your choices to your truth. And I did kind of giggle, but I was like, "Oh, yeah, shortcut first of all." But the wound is a shortcut, gosh, to align. And I thought, okay, well, neat. Can we chat about that one and see if questions come up? Because the wound is a shortcut to the path, which was, by the way, a journey to the wholeness and fullness of who you are. And my open-ended question to you, Noemi, if we are not aware or do not live from our place of wholeness and fullness, can we align? Can our choices be in alignment to our truth, or will they just be way off?
So, that's the journey, right? And you know how they say, like, success is the journey, not the destination, that it's all about the journey. And so the journey is getting more and more in alignment or more and more out of alignment. It's based on the choices you make. So as you come, it's like tuning the dial. In the old days when you had the dial on the radio, it's like tuning that dial. When you get closer, there might be some static, but you can hear like a new station. You can hear different music. And so in the old days, it was... I remember getting my first FM radio, and I had to carefully tune that dial so I wouldn't get any static or overlapping from another station. And so it is the journey. It is it's like walking ourselves into that place on this journey, getting closer and closer and closer. And as you get more and more into alignment, the clarity, the truth, you understand yourself. So yes, don't despair that, I'm not fully aligned and I'm not in the fullness and wholeness, and that's the journey, that's the destination. I'm not in the fullness and wholeness either. Maybe sometimes, when I'm channeling or, there are times of experiencing that, but it's that journey to getting to live in that place. And yes, we can definitely align and make choices that are in line with the truth of who we are. Maybe we don't even see the full truth. We'll align with the truth that we know.
I have to tell you, I love that you use that dial analogy. And for the record, whoever's listening in the technology world, I like that dial because sometimes if there's a really cool song that came on and I was like, and it went in and out, I was like, I still rather listen to it with static around it than not hear it at all. This new stuff, you either get it or you don't. And I'm like, oh, come on. So I really do like that. Right now I've got the search scan. And that actually has a little bit of a lesson in there with me, is that sometimes we don't, like you said, you don't hear the full, this is the right way, this is the yes, this is the truth, this is the light, but you see a little speck one and you start chasing it, like, oh, and yes, not just like to cut you off, right?
Yeah, you go in that direction that has more light, more love, more peace, more joy, the direction where you feel more at home in yourself is what I'm getting. So as you start to choose, you walk in a certain direction, you make a choice, you go there, and it's, you've committed to that direction, but it's not like a death sentence. It's like a life sentence, rather. It's you continue, and then maybe there's a new path, or maybe you go back to where you were because you realized, not in alignment. And it's all okay. It's all part of the growth. It's like wandering in this place in the woods. I go hiking with some girlfriends. This place that's called Mount. It was called Mount Misery, but we renamed it Mount Miracle. And it's not really a mount; it's like a hill. But yes, one of my girlfriends came up with that. And so but there's so many different paths, and you walk, and you sometimes come back to the same point, and it's all just like getting in alignment with the path that's going to take you to where you want to go. And
and enjoying the path and seeing the different rocks that are on each one, and this one's shiny, and this, there's another one in that beautiful channel message, is that access your power not to overcome it, but by coming over to your power. And I love the change of words there. That was really big.
I thought that was really cool.
Yes, yeah. There was so much more around it. I was trying to type furiously there because you'll have it in front of you, so maybe we can go it, because there was a few words about. I always thought this. A lot of people will say, put up your protective wall. Don't let the negative energies. You've got to be on the defense. You're defending constantly. And that's exhausting. I've been in a few icky relationships and stuff, and I was like, I hate being always defending something or waiting for the attack words to come out or something. And I thought it's tiring and it's exhausting. And eventually I am going to drop the shield because I'm going to be tired and then I'm going to get hurt. And so why would I want to, that's a horrible way to live. But if we can come to our power, we can come over to our power. We don't need to be so protective. And can you, do you know where that was in the message that came out there? It was,
you overcome by coming over to your power, by choosing the power that resides within you. And you do this by opening to your power and recognizing that you do have power and desiring to access it. The wound creates an opening. So, it's so important to have that awareness. So yes, interesting when you're sharing that story about being in an icky relationship and maybe with some negativity, and you're protecting, you're still aligning with the negativity by doing that. Yes. You're focusing on the negativity. No negativity for me. Well, instead of, saying yes, like David said, saying yes to your power and standing in that power, and you don't need as much armor.
Yes to my value. Yes to my deserving of respect. Yes to my, I'm growing and becoming more. There's a lot of good yeses. Oh my gosh. Ooh, I do have a question. I got goosebumps, so it has to be it. Okay.
Okay, good. It's like a good time to do the channeling. Yes, question.
Yes. And it might even be, and I can't believe I'm going to use this. I've never asked you to do this before, but I'm doing it. How about a Noemi, if you may channel, yes, rampage from the divine.
Well, that's different. I have to say that I've never done a rampage. I know what they are from watching Abraham, but I have never actually done a rampage, so I'm not sure.
We'll clarify on that one. How about, the question really is about what are all the things that we maybe have forgotten what to say yes to? When I was just starting to think about that, we know what to say no to. We know what to say no to. Stop hurting me, stop squishing me, stop blaming me, stop the whole, but what do we say? Can we be reminded, please, of what we do say yes to? What will support us in this right now in walking and having the mirror? Yes, that's it. Yes. What can we and what do we have access to saying yes to see and experience the miracles of living beyond the wound?
Okay.
We got there.
Yes, I wrote it down 3 times. So what do we have access to saying yes to? I like to sort of keep these questions to, what was that? Anyway, something about the miracles, ... miracles.
So we can access the miracles from living beyond the wounds. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, and it's just such a beautiful thing, honestly, because now we know what to focus. David really helped shape this episode. Thank you. What do we say yes to?
Yes. What do we have the power to say yes to right now? Right. Yes. So there might be, say yes to being fully in your power, and I don't know how to get there, and I don't know what right now, wherever we are, what do we have the power to say yes to that will support us, that will bring us in that direction
to the land
so
of
that
the
we
miracles.
can access the miracles. So, right, and the journey metaphor. So take us in the direction. So I like that. Okay. Just a moment to grab a swig of water, and then I will greet the divine. And there'll be a little silence, and then I'll turn it over to them. And I have no idea what they're going to share, but it's going to be beautiful. I can feel it.
Me too.
it's like a surprise. I don't get many surprises in my life. So but when I sit here with the divine, I get surprised over and over again, and it's always a good surprise. It's not one of those surprise you owe money. But it's like, so okay, settling in. I have to find my shawl. I was wearing it. I usually cover my head because my head buzzes pretty powerfully here. So divine, we're so grateful for your help with this. So what can we say yes to now, wherever we are? What is it that we can say yes to that's going to help align us on that path and direct us in that direction of the miracles? We always enjoy questions that are positively worded. What can you say yes to? Oh, there's so much that you can say yes to. So much that you can say yes to, and say yes to yourself in that so much. So many of you are not saying yes to yourself. You are saying maybe, tomorrow, I don't know. No, not at all. I can't. There's so many negative messages, and we won't continue the list. There are so many. But what we want to say is to say that positive yes to yourself. I am saying yes to myself today. Today, I say yes to myself. Wake up in the morning. Give thanks for the new day and the new you that you can be in this new day. Give thanks for the opportunity to say yes to yourself. Stand up and say, today I am saying yes to myself as you get up in the morning and start the day with an awareness that you can say yes. Bringing that conscious awareness. So consciousness is needed to say something different than you have been saying all along. Otherwise, you repeat the same message, the same dialogue with yourself over and over again without knowing. It is on autopilot. It is on repeat. You are not even consciously stating that message, those messages that keep replaying over and over and over again in your mind and in your heart. Say yes to yourself. At the beginning of the day, stand up. Yes, I say yes to myself. As you interact with people, as you have a choice to make, develop the habit of saying yes to yourself by asking which of these choices is the bigger yes. The bigger yes for me. The bigger yes that brings me into the truth of who I am. The bigger yes that takes care of me, that acknowledges me, that validates me, that nurtures me, that nourishes me. What is the biggest yes for me? That is the yes that you want to be saying. There may be many yeses that you can say, and if there's a choice, say the biggest yes. But you have to ask, you have to stop and think. And not think with your mind, think with your heart. Ask your heart, what is the yes right now? What is the yes here and now? What is my biggest yes? And start to recognize where you are making those autopilot decisions that don't serve you anymore, that are over and over again repeating the patterns of the past, the choices of the past, and therefore the results of the past. And the land of miracles does not live in the past. If you had been living in miracles in the past, you would still be living in miracles. And you would not be asking this question. But you may have lived in miracles for a short time in the past, and then lost your way and gone back into the wound, through a wound. And that is part of the human journey, the human existence. But living in the present moment gives you the access point. The access point is not in the past. It is not in the unconscious mind. It is not in the subconscious messages that keep repeating themselves that you are unaware of. The access point is in the present. Say yes to the present moment. In the present moment, there is you. There is presence. There is God. There is divine. There is source. There's whatever name you want to call us. And there is choice. Choice lives in the present moment. Choose in the present moment. Choose with awareness. Choose consciously. Choose awakened. Choose what awakens you further to the truth of who you are. Allow yourself to choose. Recognize where you are not choosing consciously. Recognize the default choices, the autopilot choices, and shift and become aware and become open and allow yourself to choose something differently, something that you have never chosen before. It may feel a little bit uncomfortable. The yes may feel uncomfortable. Recognize that. Don't say, oh, this can't be the yes because it's uncomfortable. It may very well be the yes because it is a different choice. And not every choice that's uncomfortable is the yes. So learning that discernment, sitting in your heart, listen to your heart. Your heart knows the yes. And be willing to choose differently than you have been choosing. That is the first thing to say yes to. I am going to choose differently today. From now on, I want to choose what is nurturing and nourishing of me and what lifts me up and brings me into miracles. And we have so much more to say, and yet in this moment, we are complete. Namaste.
Ooh, goodies and so many more goodies and lots of goodies in there. I couldn't stop writing. Okay. And just on that, because I know we're going to commercial, I love that it ended with it lifts you. I got the word lift 2 days ago, and it's all I've been thinking of. And not just uplifts, but lifts. And it was, I had a little acronym, but I can't remember it right now. Maybe I'll think about it on commercial break. But everybody, thank you. And Noemi, that was gorgeous. We are so talking about that when we get back after commercial break.
Yummy.
Oh.
Conscious media for conscious minds. OMTimes. Being a radio host on IOM-FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Consistently attract soulmate clients, begin showing up on brand, monetizing on your calling. Welcome all spiritual coaches, leaders, healers, light workers, and practitioners to a show that turns you on in your business and amplifies your magnetism. I'm host, catalyst, and spiritual business coach Rosalind Fung, and I'm here to journey with you into the juicy and help you discover where the real gaps are. Ignite your mindset and soul with strategies and systems as each episode takes you to the sweet spot that activates your soulgasmic business by tuning in on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Mountain. Join me for your light language activation and let's magnetize and monetize.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Oh, beautiful. All right. So, Noemi, it was funny because I love when you're channeling, there's energy around all the work. Extra energy around extra stuff. I love when it gets shiny almost in my mind's eye. My heart kind of opens up and it just, yes. So that's what I'm kind of doing. So while you're channeling, I'm channeling your channel.
That is beautiful. I know when we used to do lives that you are, and when I would watch them later, you are so present when I channel. It's so beautiful to know that's what's going on.
It is. And I hope that listeners, if there's just even a few moments in your day, regardless whatever you're doing, is to stop and be that present. Actually, I feel like it's the fountain of youth to me. I don't know. There's this timelessness that stops time for everything, and you're so in alignment with a life force, and it feeds you, it nourishes you. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me start there.
Oh, that is so beautiful, Lisa. That is really beautiful what you just said. I love it.
And then I said about, you being fun splashing out of your mouth. These are the things, like fountains and stuff. But there you go. I love this. This is my biggest takeaway, and it's funny that I'm saying this, is in that message, it was say a bigger yes. Say a bigger
what is the biggest yes? Yes, say a bigger yes.
Say a bigger
yes. I like
yes.
that.
And ask your heart, not the mind. And, the really juicy one was that it's the yes that acknowledges, that validates, that nourishes, and it was about a million other beautiful words after that, because they will give you the results of not of past miracles, because miracles don't live in the past. They live now. So let's just, because you got to say it, but now you didn't get to feel it the same way. So when you hear that, Noemi, say a bigger yes, and the yes that acknowledges, validates, and nourishes, and all those beautiful things, like, yes. Can you just speak more to that for how you feel hearing that now?
How I feel. So I do hear it, but I don't always retain it. And I can't be taking notes while I'm speaking. So, the bigger yes was interesting, because there isn't a one right thing, the one right answer. It's like, what is going to be that thing? Which I think the other word was nurtures. I think they usually use those.
Both.
They usually use those two N words together, and so it is recognizing that even there's no judgment in that. Is this my biggest yes? Am I choosing the biggest yes? Is there a bigger yes? There's no judgment there. There's no like, oh, I didn't choose the yes. No, maybe it's a small yes. Is there a bigger yes? And so that kind of opening to like more. Open to more. I like that.
Yes. And the beautiful thing was it says, and I know we always know this. We say this, of course, is, start your day with gratitude, end your day with gratitude. But I do love, where did my first thing say? The yes says knowledge. Give thanks for the new day. Okay. So I thought everybody can do that, because anybody that wakes up in the morning has been given an opportunity for a new day. There's an instant yes right there. And
I think, I agree.
And go on with that one, because there's a bit of goodness with that one too. But the give thanks for the new day.
And I think they said, and the new you that is possible, or something like that. There was a new day and a new you, and I was like, ooh, new you.
Yes.
So it's like, oh, I can be a new you every day. That sounds good.
Give thanks to the new you, the new day, and the awareness to say yes. So just even give thanks to the awareness to say yes. Isn't that good? Ooh.
Yes, it is good. David, if you're listening, look how much you have impacted the show today.
That's a big yes, is to share with somebody something that lit your heart up. A lot of times we have those moments. David had a moment, and we don't share it. We go, oh, we said no to ourselves. That's not important enough to share. We say no to our voice sometimes. So by saying yes to our voice and just sharing one thing with somebody can just change everything.
So true. And so by sharing one thing to someone else, you're saying yes to yourself. I like that. I liked how you dovetailed that together.
Yes. It just, people sometimes will say something, and then and there's the gratitude piece. Because then in turn, we can turn around and say thanks. And it feels good to say thank you. And that actually starts that is a choice point to acknowledge, say, wow, thank you for that gift or that opportunity or that thing. And that's a miracle right there, because it starts changing your whole trajectory of that day.
Wow. Wow, Lisa, that was profound. Wow, I love it. That is a miracle right there. When you say that, yes, it changes your trajectory for the day, and that's a miracle. Right, going down the same old, default autopilot, no miracle there. But you change the trajectory by bringing yourself into awareness and bringing yourself into gratitude and bringing yourself into listening for the yes, listening and discerning. I think they use the word discernment. Discerning what is the biggest yes, and the heart knows. The heart will tell you which is the biggest yes.
Yes. Oh, and the acknowledgement too that the right yes might be uncomfortable because it's new, but it's not wrong. It's new, not wrong. Sometimes.
And I think they said uncomfortable doesn't mean it's the biggest yes, something like that too. So they also cover the other side of it. Oh, it's uncomfortable. Let me just dive in.
Right. Yes. Yeah. You have to have discernment.
Every once in a while I get in a mode like that and I'm like, oh no, why did I do this?
Oh, Noemi. Okay, miracle vision here. Oh no, why did I do this? That in and of itself, and we might not recognize it all the time, but that is a little wound. That's definitely a little wound because there's a bit of a blame or a regret or
judgment.
A little judgment. Thank you. And so, if we can run with that for a second, when we doubt ourselves to making a choice point, because this is all about choices. So sometimes, if we are feeling a little bit regretful or judgmental of our choices, that creates the wound. How can we say? How can we make a different choice now around that wound? How can we move forward and see that wound, be with that wound when it's about choices? So we're not afraid to make a new one.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying when we have actually actively made a choice and it creates a new wound, rather than, festering with the old wound, but here's a new wound. Now we have a new wound. How can we say yes at that point? Is that the question?
Yeah. How can we be with the wound enough to say yes to new, to nourishing, to acknowledgement, to validation?
Okay. Sounds and feels, I like the vibration of it. It feels really important. Okay. So. Okay, Divine, please fill us in of how we can say that yes, and how can we make, when we've made a choice that has led us into a new wound, and where do we go from here so we're not stuck in the wound? And there's a land of miracles out there that we want to get to. And you will get to the land of miracles if only you stay the path of yes. Sure, you will go down different paths. You will wind up on side treks that will teach you and offer you new learnings and new understandings, even though they may create new wounds. Do not see the presence of a new wound as a failure or as a gone down the wrong path. Do not see that. See it as an opportunity. See every wound as an opportunity for healing, and every wound is a portal to grace, and every wound is a portal to that place where miracles live, because the wound is waking you up. If you cut yourself and you have this wound, and it will wake you up to pain. It will wake you up. You may not be able to sleep because of the pain. You may feel the need to dull the pain with medication. So the wound is a portal. The wound is a place where you can do something differently. You spend most of your lives on autopilot living, going down the same path with little awareness. It's as if you were walking down a path and not even seeing the trees on either side and not seeing the sun overhead and the flowers and the birds. You are simply unaware. And the wound jolts you into awareness. It jolts you into awareness of something. What are you aware of? Oh, I've created a new wound. I did it again. Poor me. They wounded me. Stop right then and there. Stop. Learn to stop yourself in your tracks. You do not have to go off the tracks. Stop yourself. Recognize, oh, this is re-wounded me. This is adding wound to wound. It is adding injury to wound. Stop re-injuring yourself. Stop adding to the wound. Stop. And shift. And you do that. Ask for our help. Oh, I'm in the wound. Oh, I'm feeling I made the wrong choice. I'm judging myself. Any judgment is a reminder that you're not on the path to miracles. You are going to the path to the land of the lost. You're on the path to pain. Stop yourself. and receive us, receive our presence, receive our love. We're here for you. Receive. And then stop the path you're going on. Look around. Ask that same question. What is my biggest yes now? Acknowledge. Okay, this is not where I want to be. You don't even have to say I made a mistake. Oh, I made a bad choice. You just say, this is not where I want to be. This is not the place that brings me joy. This is not the place that brings me peace. This is not what fills me up. No, this is not where I want to be. Simply acknowledge that and then shift. Where do I want to be? What is my biggest yes? And how do I get there? What do I need to say yes to now to put myself back on the path to miracles, to put myself on the path to my true self, to discovering and learning and living and being full of the truth of who I am and sharing that truth? What do I need to do now? Learn to stop yourselves. A lot of times you go down a path. Noemi Grace is learning this. She goes down this path and she keeps going. And if she's agitated in the past, she would just keep going and going and going until it got out of her system. Now she's learning to stop a little bit earlier than that and a little bit earlier than that. And to stop and go, oh, I don't have to do this. Stop yourself. I don't have to do this. I can choose something different now. Recognize how every moment, every opportunity allows you to choose something different. If you become aware, if you become awake enough, you don't even have to be fully awake and fully aware, but recognize everything is an opportunity. The wound is showing you, it is causing the pain to remind you, oh, you're not where you want to be. Use that as a reminder to shift, to open your awareness to see what other possibilities exist for you. And we are always here to assist in great love. We are complete. Namaste.
Ooh, stop and shift. I love that.
Yes.
And I must tell you, so this is the one-liner at the end. I love this. You don't even have to say, I made a mistake. Simply acknowledge where you want to be and stop and shift and make a new choice. Woo!
Say yes to where you want to be. You say, oh, this is not where I want to be. Okay. Say yes to, what's the biggest yes that's going to take you in the direction of where you want to be? So,
yes. Oh, the biggest yes. That is what the beauty has really come from today's episode is what's the big yes? That's your choice point. The biggest yes you can make right now. And I'm just laughing right now because I've never used a stop sign in my icons when I put the show description out. And I used a stop sign today. And I even thought, oh, and I thought, I've never used that before. And I thought, well, that's fun because I was using the icons. Everybody, yes, let me do a quick invitation. Please find us either on Facebook, either Noemi Grace author page or Lisa Berry. We put up the show descriptions on both of our pages. On the OMTimes Radio Facebook page, you can check us there too. But we'd love to hear from you and any comments and any growth that you're having or what you'd like to hear or have, maybe a message for yourself. So I wanted to make sure I squeeze that in. And best of all, your book. Let's get Noemi's book online at Amazon, and then I'm going to get you to say the whole title.
Okay. An intimate dialogue with God, the miraculous power of unconditional self-love. Oh, there are miracles in that book. It's got a miraculous power in there. How about that, Lisa?
Yes. I know when you said it now, because every time you say it, I hear it differently, which is really fun because each word has a different energy shining around it. And we shall continue this series because, the miracles of living beyond wounds exist. The land of miracles does exist. And it's different for each one of us. And how we get there is beautiful. So we just are so enjoying this series, Noemi, you and I.
Oh, absolutely. And we would love to hear from people if there's something that you feel is really important for you to hear, and a message you would like to receive or related to where you're struggling. Just message us. And we do have an Access to Angels and Grace Facebook page that pretty much just has the posts from every week. But at some point we'll start to post things there. And I sometimes actually do post there things that I post on my Noemi Grace author page. So sometimes I'll have short excerpts from my next book. posted there as well. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Yes, this is absolutely.
We've done a couple of shows that were based on what we've heard from people, and that's been really great. And so we want to help you. We want to be of service. So let us know what you need. How about that? How often do you get asked that?
Yes, and so as long as you say yes, then we are here. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in every Monday at 12 p.m. noon Eastern. Access to Angels and Grace.
Well, no.
I mean Grace. Oh,
every second and fourth Monday, not every Monday.
Gosh.
that
That's
used
right.
to be
Thank
your
you.
show.
Yes.
So I think it's February 8th, I believe. Let me check when our next one is, so we can.
The first is a Monday.
February 8th.
Yes.
So.
We'll see you then, guys. Aw, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Noemi.
Oh, thank you, Lisa. It's always a pleasure.
It is. Bye, everyone.
Bye.